This week on Xenomania, a family is rocked when their eldest son inexplicably falls into a coma. Doctors can't find a cause. He's physically perfectly healthy. With his condition stable, he is sent home where weird things start to happen. Eventually, Mom determines the house is haunted and they move. But it isn't the house. A team of paranormal experts arrives in an attempt to save young Dalton from the further before it's too late. This is Insidious. This is Xenomania.
No. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
I don't know if you guys saw it, but in 1991 there was a movie called The Haunted, and it's got James Dunn in it. Is that his name? No, Jeffrey DeMunn. Jeffrey DeMunn.
Jeffrey DeMunn.
He's in like every Stephen King adaptation. Yeah, he's the dad in it.
Curious.
And it's wild. It's not like a very particularly exciting or terrifying movie, but it's just really well done. And that's the one where the ghosts like travel with the family.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I know Jeffrey DeMunn.
Yeah, you know Jeffrey DeMunn.
Yeah, you know Jeffrey DeMunn.
Shawshank.
DeMunn.
It's one of those, like, you hear the name, you kind of like, I know the name. Can't picture the face.
Christmas Evil.
Yeah. What were your silly Christmas Evil? What were your like kind of haunted movies from back then? I'm talking like 85. Well, Ryan wasn't born yet, but like early 90s. Early 90s. But not like great big CGI, things. This was a movie that had barely any of that.
Mm-hmm.
It was all doors and stuff.
There is a movie from, I want to say 1980-ish with George C. Scott called Changeling. I love that one.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And then, Poltergeist, Amityville.
That's a lot more popular than The Haunted. Yeah. Like Witch and Amityville.
Yeah, the haunted house, haunted person thing wasn't my favorite. Still isn't one of my favorites, but when it's done well, I like it a lot.
I think you probably saw The Haunted. I mean, I'm sure everybody saw it. It ran on like the Discovery Channel or something.
Haven't seen it. Was it a TV movie? An actual
It's a TV movie. For sure.
I could probably find it on YouTube or somewhere.
There was an essay from the Ghosts. She essays Jeffrey DeMunn. That's kind of why it got a little bit of an uproar. Because the ghost comes downstairs and it's like a young damsel. And he's like, "Who are you?" And then she just throws him on the ground and has her way with him.
See, there's a haunted movie from my past that I think of where this woman is like an invisible force grabs her, which I'm presuming it's a spirit, and like drags her down the steps. But I don't know what movie it was. I was such like a kid. It creeped me out to the point where I didn't go up the steps for a week. I think it was a TV made movie as well. It was like something on Sci-Fi in the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah,
was it?
The Haunted.
So I've seen a little bit of it. Yeah,
it does a good job. It builds the dread pretty well. It takes its time, and it ends on like a really dire note. It's a good movie.
See, I changed the channel because I was like, oh, hell no. I got to put some Batman on. I mean, I was like 4.
It's a good segue, though.
5 when it was on.
Good segue into our episode tonight, which is on Insidious, the original.
The first
of
the better.
Now to be
best,
6.
probably.
Now to be 6.
Why?
I think that comes out.
I mean,
I think it comes out the day after we release this episode. Or maybe 2 weeks. But we're right around the release of Insidious 6. I mean,
I hope it gets like $1 in the box, so they stop with this.
I watched The Last Key, the 4th one, today. I haven't even watched the 5th one. And this is the first time I'd ever watched The Last Key.
The 5th one's The Red Door.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, the last game,
And that's what kind of ties it back in, right?
I guess so. I mean, like, I don't know how much you can really tie. No, because the Red Door is back to the original family storyline, and Dalton's grown up
Okay.
now. Dalton's like in college or something. And Josh is still walking around a free
Yeah.
man after a murder.
Yeah. Oh my god.
They clear it up in the second one. I mean, I feel like this is a movie where, I mean, the second one does a good job, but
Do
you don't
they
need any
clear
more
it up?
after the second one.
Do they clear it up? Because I
It was like
I had to read because I wasn't gonna watch Insidious 2 again. But do they clear it up? Because really, it comes down to there's no forensic evidence. The fingerprints don't match. Therefore, Josh couldn't have done Elise in.
he was possessed.
Yeah.
You know, if the glove didn't fit, you must have
It's
quit.
like the obsession argument. Nikki's
Right.
in jail.
Mhm.
The worst part about Nikki coming back to her body is she gets to do life in prison.
According to some, I think Curry Baker, I think I was mentioning it, he released some promotional stuff. She's in a mental institute, at least. So, I mean, it's not the worst, but
She's not going to stay there. They're going to get that. Do you know how rarely that actually works as a criminal defense?
Sanity, yeah, it's
I'm-
tough. You have to get numerous psychologists to agree that you are bonkers.
They'll
it's the happiest ending.
they'll stick her in an institution and get her medicated and stabilized, and then they'll put her on trial. That's what they do. She's still going to jail.
Going to jail. Nikki's going to jail.
There goes the happy ending then.
I mean,
The
We're gonna
happiest.
jump over that because the actress is getting a lot of attention lately. So Insidious. Yeah, he got it. He finally got it. Insidious. I feel like this movie, first of all, the best part of this movie is the opening credit with the title screen.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember everybody laughed in the theater when it came up, and I was like, "Oh no, that's cool. That's cool. You guys need to get cultured." But the first 35 minutes of this movie are great.
They're
John
good.
doesn't agree. Okay,
They're good. They're good.
No, I agree with you.
Building the scaries and the house. There's something wrong with the house, and then that kid and the
Mhm.
stupid music and all that stuff. That was all like very
Tiptoe.
and it was also something we hadn't seen in a horror film for quite some time. Mainstream horror film. So it was kind of refreshing back then to be like, ooh. And it gets a little wonky from there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it pretty quickly for me at least, falls into that Conjuring sort of playbook.
Is it Conjuring before Insidious or after?
I think the first
After.
Conjuring was before.
Oh.
I don't
thought it
know.
was
I
after.
think, Conjuring's after. Conjuring came out in 2013.
I got so confused by it because the main actor, the dad, obviously, what is his name?
Josh.
Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson.
He annoys me.
2013.
Patrick Wilson.
Really? I like
and
Patrick
yeah,
Wilson.
he was awful in oh my god, I can't remember any of the names of these movies.
Aquaman?
First of all, I'm sure he was. I didn't see him in Aquaman though.
King Or?
He was awful in the Watchers.
Ocean Master?
Is that what it's called? Watchmen.
Is it The Watchers?
Watchmen?
Uh,
Yeah, he plays the owl guy.
Night Owl.
Yeah,
he wasn't that bad. He did a good job
was
as Night
terrible.
Owl.
He was terrible. He's been lukewarm. He's literally like a bath that's too cold. Every time I see him in a movie, that's what the experience is like. It's like, man, this could have been good. But in this, I mean, in Insidious, he does a decent job. In the Conjuring movies, he annoys the hell out of me.
Yeah.
That's what you want, though, for the tone of this movie, is that distancing, though, as the movie progresses.
I feel like John
and as
has
his character develops.
John has thoughts too.
No, you guys keep
What do you
going
think
because
of
I'm gonna
John?
try. I'm gonna trash this movie eventually, but
We're
you
trying
guys
to
keep
lead
going.
you into it,
keep
but
going.
you're resisting pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because once I get started, I'm not going to stop. This is so this was the third or fourth time
I'm
I've
kind of
watched
trashing this.
Insidious. I was late watching it because of the hype. Because I had seen trailers, I had seen the PG-13 rating. I was very, very lukewarm on the concept of Insidious in the first place. And finally, Allison talked me into watching it. I thought it was good. The first time I watched it, it was very effective.
Things we do
Second
for women,
time,
am I right?
second time, very effective.
Tablecloths.
This time, it missed me so hard this time. And even Allison, who loved it the first couple times we watched it, she sat in for like the last 45 minutes, finished up, and she looked at me and she said, I forgot how dumb this movie is.
Yeah. Well, once they reveal the demon, it gets to be like kind of hokey. He's like a Zulu warrior, and he just looks
I liked it.
ridiculous. Looks ridiculous. Whatever they were going for with him is bizarre. I don't know if he's supposed to be like, I don't know, from Babylon or something, but he's insane. His first reveal is cool, and then the more you see him, the less cool he is.
Yeah.
With the sharp nails, Freddy Krueger like nails,
Ultra
come
white
on.
teeth.
Like
He creeped me out.
where the most effective he is in the movie is the one scene that everybody has seen. You know, where he just appears behind Josh.
Yeah.
Like that's the best he looks in the whole movie. And it's funny because I'd not noticed it before, but one of the scenes of Josh in the school grading papers, there's a face drawn on the whiteboard behind him. And it's that face, just in, whatever marker color and the board.
I thought it was Jigsaw.
No, I think it's him. I mean, maybe it's supposed to be Jigsaw, but whatever it's supposed to be. I mean, that's whatever Easter egg nod that is all right. But then, like, even Josh working becomes very hard to believe. How many teachers do you know work until 10:30 grading papers?
That was the least
that's his
believable part of the
School.
movie for me as well.
That's an excuse.
That's
He
trying
didn't
to
want to
stay
go
away from the house. Yeah, another bad dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Josh is not a good dad for all but like 20 minutes of the movie when he's in the further trying to rescue Dalton. He's a bad dad.
What about the beginning? He's pretty good to help them with like the breakfast, make sure they're good.
I mean, like
He's not a scumbag, but he's a bad dad.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's like bare minimum dad too. Like I made sure you had food. I didn't.
Yeah, with cereal and a cup.
I didn't let you go to school hungry. Like, congratulations, Dad. Congratulations. But like, he doesn't believe anybody. He's so dismissive of Renee. Every time she brings something up, he finally agrees to move for her.
That's very tropey for the new mother thing, the new mother hysterical thing that men do. And I will stand up for the ladies on this one. When postpartum is like a thing, and it's very clear Josh is not good at helping her through it or handling anything like that's going on with the haunting thing. But it seems to me like it could be a giant metaphor for that part of the whole raising a family, that little section of it. And he's just running away because he doesn't want to deal with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, it's a hard sell on you too because you haven't seen it, but I've lived through it partially, and I see where like other people do this similar thing that Josh does, where it's like not addressing your problems, thinking your wife's crazy, and all that stuff. I kind of going left here. How about astral projection, guys?
Yeah, I'm not even really sure that's the right phrase. Is it? Is he really astral projecting?
Yeah.
Sort of. I mean, the first
technically
force consciousness out.
But like the first part of this definition is an intentional out-of-body experience. Dalton's not doing it intentionally, I don't think. He's just falling asleep and projecting. I think they seem to, like, through the whole franchise, they seem to sort of drop the intentional part of it, and it's just like, I see dead things, and
I guess you got a point there.
Travel through astral planes. Yeah, I guess there's not really.
You're right.
I mean, I guess there's not really anything else to call it. Like, what else would it be?
I mean, it can happen accidentally. I remember from some movies where there's accidental astral projection, or even in like X-Men comics where the mutant can't project themselves and it's like they learn the powers. It's an accident and it's not on purpose. I mean, not knowing you're doing it in a dream state, I can believe it.
Well, I can get behind it if we want to call it really like true astral projection, fine. But by every definition I found, it's intentional. And nobody in this movie until Josh at the end is intentionally astral projecting.
But is it intentional at the end? Because he does have to go under a little hypnosis in order to help.
But he's purposely trying. He's purposely
Okay.
trying to do it. He's not doing it necessarily freely, but he's
Okay.
trying to do it at that point because
Fair enough.
But I think that that's just a small quibble with this movie. I think if you want to call it astral projection, fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's really not, as far as the gripes list goes, that's not high up on it. In fact, the gripes list is so long, it makes me wonder why this movie was so hyped. Was it just a great marketing campaign?
It must have been. I can't fully remember what the marketing campaign is or was.
Theater.
It got so much like mainstream hype too. This wasn't just like horror nerds going wild for Insidious. This was like mainstream people. This was people telling me, "Oh, you have to see Insidious," who I know don't watch horror.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it was so long since the period of time between when we got a decent horror release before this, and there wasn't like a Saw movie or something like that. This was it felt like the first horror movie that came out in forever when it hit for me anyway.
I feel like it was everywhere in 2010. It was just everywhere, and I mean when it came out on DVD, because I don't think it didn't take that long to be released on DVD for some reason because of the popularity. And I yanked it, and I was like so happy to watch it because, I mean, it was still hyped after a few months, and I get to understand like what the hype is and what James Wan was doing. I mean, he's going from the Hulk, and then he's doing Insidious, this darker horror film, and you can see more of his chops in it.
Well, and
I feel like it opened the door.
He did have some horror in between too. Like he did Dead Silence.
Dead Silence was before?
Yeah, Dead Silence was
I thought it
like
was
07. So like he had sort of entered that realm, and Saw too. Like Saw was him, so like, he'd done horror. But I think it was just sort of, I think it's probably the accessibility, because Insidious is pretty accessible. You can watch this with, relatively young family members. You can watch this with, your parents, and nothing so terrible is going to happen that it's going to be uncomfortable. If you watch it with kids who are too young, they're probably going to be a little scared for a bit, but
yeah, probably.
Even adults, I was scared.
I
was scared
see.
for a bit.
I remember that it sort of did what Blair Witch did in the build-up when I first saw it. It had that Blair Witch
gave him
thing.
a migraine.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
They build some, and they built some good tension in spots, but I don't know. That whole last half hour really doesn't connect.
See, I feel like it does though, because it sets it up nicely where you understand why Josh is having such a hard time. And then when Elise is introduced, it connects that whole thing.
Yeah, no,
'Cause when we get to the opening, we just see the kid and we just see,
yeah.
Controversial opinion. I feel like Elise is the death knell of this movie. Every time she's involved in the movie, it gets worse for me.
I mean,
is it the gas mask?
Everything about her character.
the gas mask
all
is like
friggin' fake psychic.
I feel like they're just like pumping stuff into that gas mask while she's in there, and she's tripping and like
Farts.
talking to imaginary
Tucker's farts.
Specs' farts.
Yeah. She's. Oh my god.
That's like the best part of that scene is I feel like Josh, Patrick Wilson is just like, what the hell is going on? And he's like trying to believe and support his wife, Rose Byrne's Renee. But Renee is very into it and like, what the hell's going on? But to know whether Elise is selling snake oil, in which Josh believes that's what she's doing in the beginning, until it's revealed that there are real happenings happening, That was a nice little turn too as well.
Well, when Elise shows up, I don't doubt that she's legit. She's she shows up pretty legit. But it doesn't work. I know, but like it's the way they introduce her before she shows up. It's Josh's mom saying,
fair,
and Josh's mom saying, I know this person. I know, like she helped me, that kind of thing. But she's not an original character, and I think that's kind of the thing that people lose in this. That's not like a unique original character. That is 100% Zelda Rubinstein from Poltergeist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, she's not like a midget, and that makes it more fun.
That team is Poltergeist. Like Specs and Tucker are Zelda Rubinstein's partners in Poltergeist. Like, and
if you look at it like that, yes.
I think that's part. We'll get to how we all feel about this much later, but I think that's part of what hurt this viewing experience for me, is really this time connecting with Poltergeist in that way, and it doesn't measure up.
Yeah.
But does the remake measure up?
The remake of Poltergeist?
Yes.
Measure up to what? Insidious or Poltergeist?
No, to Poltergeist. Because you're saying,
what kind of question are you asking?
Hell no. That remake, that's a bottom of the barrel remake. The
reason why I'm saying
that opinion won't even get me in trouble like my Dawn of the Dead opinion does.
The reason why I bring it up is you can at least admit that Insidious did a better job remaking Poltergeist in its own vision compared to the actual remake of Poltergeist. That's where I was heading with it.
I mean, sure.
The remake of Poltergeist is horrible.
What's the bar there? We're better than an awful remake.
You imagine we get to a point where we're in like the nursing home. They're like, all right, fellas, we're going to go on a little field trip to the movies today. They'd made a remake of Insidious, and we all choose to simultaneously die. Right in that moment. Because what are they going to remake? What are the movies that are like Poltergeist that are coming out over the last 20 years? None.
I mean, they may not even be remaking Insidious. They might just still be making Insidious movies.
All right, before we get into the fact that we hate that they just keep making these movies, let's play a game.
Let's play a game. I have a new game for us tonight. I thought about this one. I couldn't figure out what I wanted the game for tonight to be, so I invented a new one. And this game has a name, and I'm going to call it Shay or Nay. I'm going to show you guys movies, and you're going to tell me, is Lynn Shay in this movie or is Lynn Shay not in this movie? So Shay or Nay.
Okay.
Okay. Do you got it?
Nay.
Shay.
Damn it.
Is Lynn
She is the
Shay
teacher.
in Nightmare on Elm Street? Kearns, you said
You didn't hear
nay.
my wrong answer. Oh, Shay.
What?
Yeah, no,
Yes.
Ryan said nay.
What? No, she is the teacher in this
That's what
film.
I said before.
Give it to him. Give it to him, Josh.
I mean,
Dang
I'll
it.
give it to
You
him.
cut out.
Dang it.
I don't mind. I don't
No,
mind.
do
So
not.
yes,
Do not give it to me. That is a full-on lie. I said nay. I said nay. I do not cheat.
Lynn Shay
But it
is
is
in
fun to break
Nightmare on Elm
Ryan's
Street.
balls.
All right. Movie number 2.
She is again the
Shay
teacher.
or
who-
nay? Liar, liar.
What you learned tonight? I told
I did learn.
you. Shay. She's the secretary.
Ryan,
Shay.
was that a
Is
Shay,
she,
Ryan?
though? Yeah, she is. She's a Shay. Shay. That is a Shay.
It's
Yeah,
a
she's
nay.
a secretary. The pen is blue.
It's a nay.
That's not her. Who's
What?
the old lady?
It's a nay.
What?
It's a nay.
You convinced me on that
I
one because
know,
all I
bringing
could
you
think
down
about
with me,
is the
buddy.
pen. The pen is blue.
It's good. We'll circle
is.
back to Jim. All right. Movie number 3. The
Oh,
Toy.
I
Shay
love
or
this
nay?
movie. I have no idea if she's in it or not. No idea
Nay.
if she's in it or not. I'm gonna go with Shay because why wouldn't she be?
This is a nay.
Oh,
She is not.
I'm
in
0
The
for
Toy.
3. It's almost
Yay.
harder to get a 0, but I'm gonna try it tonight.
Listen, this game kind of roughed Allison up the other night too. So it's a tough one.
I don't even know what she looks like.
She's kind of always looked like what she looked like in Insidious, just younger.
Yeah. It's like what's Jessica Lange?
Yeah,
that's-
kind of.
She still looks the
Example.
same.
Kind of, yeah. All right, next movie. The Critters.
Shay.
Nay.
Oh,
What you?
Kearns, we just
we
watched
watched this. We just watched
I'm
this.
going for 0 now.
This is Shay.
I'm gonna be perfect one way or another.
She plays Sally.
Ryan's
This
conviction is what got
a
me.
Shay.
Turning this game
All
on its
right.
head.
Number 5. Brewster's Millions.
Well, you already tricked us
That's a
with a
Shay.
prior earlier. That's a Shay.
That
As a Shay.
is a Shay.
Damn it. I thought Ryan was wrong. Damn it.
Sorry, no perfection tonight. Now you have to mount the comeback.
No, yeah, there's no shot. The
The
running man.
Running Man.
The
Shay or nay?
Is she in like a leotard in this?
Sadly not.
Sadly.
Shay.
I always look at the bottom, see if I can cheat. Richard Bachman. No, that's not her.
The
Shay.
Yaphet Kotto. It is a Shay.
Small part.
You do. Most of these are pretty small parts, guys.
Yeah. She wasn't, you know what I learned is she's an underappreciated actress who's done so much for movies, and I feel like she hasn't really gotten her big star except for like Insidious, and I feel like Alone in the Dark
Yeah.
from the early 80s. I think she was
Yeah.
a scream queen for that one. So I mean,
Yeah. Alone in the
she
Dark
needs
is
more
okay.
flowers.
All right. Next. Shay or nay? Cujo.
Nay.
What did you say, Curtis?
I said nay.
Nay. This is a nay. This is
coming out with a
nay.
nice 4K edition later this year from Arrow.
Cool.
You can eat the
I can't get through this
drool will be on the
anymore.
steelbook.
Yeah,
rewatch
I don't think I
Cujo a
can do
couple
this
times and
anymore.
Just doesn't do it for me these days.
I don't think I could get through this again. All right. Next. True Lies.
Could she be in this?
Nay.
Is it Tom Arnold's wife or something? I'm gonna go with nay as well. I can't even imagine who she is in this.
It's a nay. You know what
I thought you were gonna say she's a Shay. I was gonna be like, what part? Seen this movie.
You know
too
what
many
I
times.
stumbled on when I was looking for this picture? There was a CBS TV series in
True
2023.
Lies?
Yeah.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah.
Same concept?
I mean, it appears to be. I didn't go super digging, but the promo photos are all very Arnold and Jamie Lee.
That's like when they redid Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
It didn't work. It did not work, and I had high hopes.
Yeah.
When they replaced Riggs.
I watched a lot more of that than I care to admit, but yeah, it wasn't great.
Okay, homage.
No. Okay, might be
Yeah.
stretching it too at the end of the day.
I'm being kind, yes.
I'm not being
very
kind to
I know.
things tonight, clearly. All right, next. Shay or nay,
God, there's
Halloween
no way
3.
I would know this one. Nay.
Nay. We're not taking the T and the F.
Shay?
So Ryan is shaying this one.
I'll go with
Kearns?
Shay. The Shade.
I'm going with nay for all the marbles.
This is a nay. There's no Lynn Shay in
Yeah,
Halloween
eat that,
3.
Ryan.
Believe this is the last one right
I'm
here.
fine with that.
All
I
right,
need like
next
7 more
movie.
if I have any hope of catching him.
Shay or nay? Dumb and Dumber.
Shay. Shay.
Who is she in it, Ryan?
Mrs.
He's the lady
Mulligan.
with the pen.
Mrs. Mulligan's her name. Yes.
In Dumb and Dumber?
Yes.
Is it Mulligan? Oh, yeah, it's right. That's right, dude. Shay.
Your days of the Shays. Ryan bounces back from his
It's a great
previous
poster.
loss in our pinpoint game and takes this one 8-6. Good job, Ryan.
Very nice.
Good
I
game,
came back.
good
I
game.
came back within 2. That's crazy.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got within 2. You got within 2 on that one.
Wild.
That was
They were
redemption
all
for doing all the
guesses.
work last week.
All guesses.
Doing all the work last week, and then you guess right on the Amityville or close to it. I actually came up in my search engine today was Amityville toilet. I was like, huh.
Yep. That a movie?
I have
They're
that.
listening.
They're
I bought that.
listening.
It might have
The gate
come
is a
up because
commodity.
I may have sent you that link at some point too, because I definitely bought that.
Gotta have a movie night. Just a movie night and put a random B movie on. See how that goes.
Yeah,
Indeed. We could
Yeah.
indeed.
yeah.
Or we could talk about how we're so tired of these damn characters. I'm not as tired of these characters in this franchise as I am the ones in The Conjuring.
Yeah.
Post-psychic crap and that also pisses me off.
Mhm. Well,
I feel like they lose the steam by the second film and when it comes to The Conjuring, but with the Insidious films, I feel like it's fresh air because you get the prequels and then the third one is more of an Insidious spin-off in a way, but just with the title of 3.
I
Since
mean,
it focuses on Elise and Specs and Tucker.
I definitely have character fatigue for sure because, whether you think Patrick Wilson and Rose Byrne are good in this, Lynn Shay is good in it, we've seen those characters so many times in the 16 years since Insidious came out. 17 years, whatever it is, we've seen them so much. Patrick Wilson is basically living in this genre half of his life now anyway, in these like haunted house person ghosty things, and then James Wan and Blumhouse. Like, it's just the first Insidious is not a Blumhouse, but
You cut out.
Yeah.
That's why we were free.
I did. I did. I know. I saw. I just got the recording has started message.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Yeah.
so we're shaking our heads.
Those storms that came through tonight messed up my internet, I think.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
So, do you
they were
think that we
wild.
would be less lukewarm? Lukewarm might be kind. Less lukewarm on this movie if it was a standalone? Would we remember it more fondly?
I think I would. I think knowing that they just kept cranking these out, it takes something that when I first saw it felt fresh. You know, maybe not original, but fresh. And now it's just, I mean, it's like everything else that in that sort of similar universe. Like, it's not as many as the Conjuring universe, but it's still 6 of these.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's too much. I mean, how the first one ends, it's such a great twist. And it's like you kind of like you kind of figure it out in a way after the photo and stuff, but it's like when you see it for what it is, it's like wow. And then him grabbing her Rose Byrne on the shoulder, and it's like, oh, this is phenomenal. And I mean, they do a sequel. The sequel's a cash cow just to kind of try to end the story. But then you get a prequel, and then you get the spin-off, and then you get a prequel, and then we're going back to the original story because everyone else is going back to the original story, you know? And don't even with like the rumor of a Sinister crossover. I mean, like, there's one is enough.
See, for me, I think the first one ended perfectly because you don't need to go and explain what happens to Josh, especially if what happens to Josh is just, oh, we don't have evidence that he strangled Elise. You know, like, who else did?
Different fingerprints.
Who
Different
else?
fingerprints.
Who else strangled Elise? Like, it's like it.
Possession.
Okay, here's what I want you to do, Ryan. Go out tonight and strangle somebody, anybody. Then when you get arrested, say, I was possessed by a demon, and see how quickly you get released.
I'm going to do that.
Ryan, I will put money in your commissary because you will be there forever.
He's going to go to a kind of prison that does not have a commissary.
What?
He's
You
not
want
going to
a
the
good
fun one with the guys from
Hey.
Goodfellas cutting garlic with razor.
Yeah.
I'll make it in there.
Like we were saying, you're not going to go to a mental institution. You're going to jail. It's almost impossible to win those insanity pleas. You won't win it. Especially once they go check your viewing history and your recording history, and they say, "Oh, this guy just watched Insidious. He's just doing Insidious. He thinks he's going to get away with it by claiming he was possessed by a demon."
But I'll have a one-wish willow and make a wish
You have a
that
12
everyone
wish
will
willow,
forget the
buddy. You're not
incident.
getting out of that one.
Nah,
You're not getting out of that
You're going.
Willow will work.
So I think, but to sort of go back to where I started with this is, to me, you can have a really solid first film and mess it up with sequels, and I think Insidious does that right off. The first sequel messes up the franchise because he shouldn't be free, and
Right.
I guess I mean, they sort of leave that end open a little bit that way for a sequel, but you've also killed off the person you presented as the only person who can save people from this. So, now if you want to do anything beyond the two, you have to start getting into prequels and time jumps and whatever. And that's what The Last Key is. The Last Key is a prequel. The Last Key ends with Elise in bed getting a phone call from Lorraine about Dalton.
I got it.
Oh.
You
Okay.
can tell
So
I did
it's
not
like
watch that.
I mean,
so
you don't
it's
need
like
to. I don't know why I watched it.
Hold on. This universe is a little. So it's 1, 2,
This
and
universe
then
is
3
very
before
confusing.
1.
Yep.
And then
4 is
4.
before 1, but after
I can have a better
3.
understanding with Halloween.
5 is
If it was less confusing, it would make less
fifth
money.
in order, and I think 6 is sequentially really going to be after 5. I think if you wanted to watch these in sort of chronological order, you'd probably I don't know, because 3's confused because 4 starts with Elise as a child in 1953.
4's got to be the first.
So, but
Right?
then it jumps to like right before the events of the first one. So you almost have to watch like the first 20 minutes of 4, then go to 3, then go back to 4,
There's 4.
and then go to 1 and then 2, and then
5.
5 and then 6, I think.
Wow. That's so dumb.
But yeah, we have a confusing timeline. We have and just unnecessary sequels to me.
No more spin-offs. No more, because 3 is a spin-off, right?
3 is.
What is
I mean,
it's part of the series.
3, Insidious 3.
3. I feel like 3 is kind of like the Lone Gunman episode of the X-Files, where you're trying to take these characters who you've created and spin them out to something else, and people are just kind of like, like they're cool, but can they carry a whole series? Can they carry a whole movie?
Specs and Tucker and like in the Insidious world, but make it a little more comedy. That would have worked. Elise is gone. They have to figure their way out.
It would have worked.
Comedy ensues.
It would have worked for maybe 30, 45 minutes tops. And then it just gets old because what are you going to do?
Right. What are you going to do?
Tucker's
Slapstick comedy.
Tucker's gonna walk around with his big thing, his big phallic thing, and like get pretend readings in the corner. And Specs is gonna walk around like a nerd. Specs, by the way, is played by Lee Winnell. So you get the further Blumhouse Conjuring universe,
you said it. He
connections.
There.
All
right.
And just to throw one more little casting Easter egg, the nurse that's treating Dalton when he's at home is Lee Winnell's wife.
Oh, that's cool.
So
family affair.
I mean, sure.
So we established
you're just Insidious.
A spinoff is not going to work. And because there's no substance for there to be a spinoff that will work. This isn't going to be Perfect Strangers. What about a crossover with like Sinister, a movie that actually was good and nailed it and was fresh and also came out around the same time as Insidious, didn't it? Like not the same year, but same era.
Mm-hmm.
I remember thinking Sinister was the superior horror experience compared to the two as well. Comparing the two. Would a crossover work?
I don't know, because they've sort of presented in both Sinisters, really, they presented the victimized families as just stubborn and unwilling to seek out that kind of help. Especially Ethan Hawke in the first one.
So Elise.
Okay.
Ethan Hawke is writing his book.
Elise rolling up would not accomplish anything.
Yeah, I think the most sensible crossover would be with The Conjuring. But then you get the repetition of Warren and Elise. They were basically the same
have
people.
To be them, could be their daughter.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still sort of the same. Like the daughter goes and seeks out Elise after her mom dies, but Elise would be dead by then.
So Insidious just doesn't work. That's the final version.
I mean,
it just doesn't work.
It
worked as a standalone film. We'll see what the reviews tell us, but it worked as a standalone film. But as a franchise, it's horrific.
Yeah.
I feel like though is an interesting rumor because like the whole idea with the void and stuff, like where does Mr. Boogie go? He's probably in the void or he's in that in between. So like to connect it wouldn't be hard. But to make it make sense for the audience is to enjoy.
Yeah, he got back with the kid.
Oh yeah, but that's what I'm saying with Mr. Boogie being they
didn't kill it.
Put him into the void. But I feel like them being separated is more important because Sinister is definitely a different tone from what Insidious is.
Yeah, true.
But you also just like touched on something else about the movie that I'd rant about too, is Josh, even when he's being a hero, finally being a good dad, going into the further to bring Dalton back out, he gets him most of the way back, and then, okay, you finish it. I have to go do this, and go stare in a mirror and get possessed himself. Like, you've come that far. You're not gonna see your child back to his body.
Yeah, it's dumb.
You're gonna
Yeah.
You're like, what are you doing? That you're back to bad dad.
Bad dad.
And she warned him, Elise warned him not to talk to any spirits. And right in the get-go, he's like, hey, have you seen my son? Have you seen him? And I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah, I mean, he immediately forgets every instruction he got, and then, okay, fine, you managed to rescue your kid. Finish the job. You haven't defeated the thing that was trying to get your kid.
Right.
You just ran away from it. Finish your job. That frustrated me so much more this time than it did any other time I've seen this.
We can't really argue
I
with you on it.
completely,
It's just
I
true.
I completely forgot about that scene. I was like, what are you doing? And then when I see him talking to the Black Bride, I'm like, why why put that in the script? Because yes, you want a shock ending,
Mhm.
but there could have been a different way to go along with that. You know what I mean? Like have him get to his son to the body and then have that spirit come after him and then go black.
I don't even think you had to show that at all. I think you just bring it out, and it's a bigger shock when he does that. When he goes after Elise, it's a much bigger shock. You
Yeah, I
know,
like that.
and I like, that's the thing. Sometimes you can make a more effective movie or a more effective scene by omission.
Yeah.
True.
It's a fair point. Hey.
A lot of horror films do that. And it benefits them, I think, most of the time. There are certain movies where it doesn't, but I think for that, omitting it would have worked 10
But
times better.
yeah, I mean, it's that spoon feeding of the audience. And
I never liked that.
For some people that it works, and for some people it's what you have to do for them to be with the movie. And then, yeah, I didn't want to say it, but yeah.
I have no problem saying it.
But, like, we as viewers don't need that. But again, I think that goes back to the accessibility too.
Yeah.
You've made this movie at a PG-13 to presumably draw as much audience as you can,
Which worked.
which means if you made a PG-13, you're going to draw 11 and 12-year-olds too. So you have to give them the exposition that they need to understand that part. And then you have the adults who need that too.
I understand, but I do notice with the upcoming generation, with them getting back into older films and watching the older films where you actually have to build your knowledge of the story, the characters, to know what is happening, or realizing, crap, did this happen? And then finding out later it didn't, having that shock value. They're enjoying that more, which I appreciate.
I mean,
So there's a turn.
I'll
And I
believe
feel
that
like
there's
a lot
a
of
lot
them are
of
doing that.
Yeah, I'll believe that there's a lot of younger
Maybe some
generations.
film buffs are.
Yeah, seeking out old stuff. I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily buy that that's happening a lot. I
But the
see
TikTok
more.
brain thing makes me not believe
Yeah.
it, because they can't even seek things out, let alone hold attention.
I
That's
see
right, Gen Z.
I see a
This is
lot
an
of
attack on
like
me.
I see a lot of that. Like if movie groups, horror groups on social media, and you look at the posts, like I was following one for the last couple weeks of the best movie of the 1970s. And the stuff that was getting eliminated in the order it was getting eliminated, and it was like, what are we doing? What are we like? things like Dog Day Afternoon were gone like the first or second day. And the whole time, every single time, eliminate the Godfather 2. Like, so eliminate 2 movies that are not only among the best of the 70s, but probably among the best movies ever made. But it's because...
Was the French Connection on there?
Yep. That was gone pretty early too. Like it came down to Star Wars and The Godfather. The Godfather 1. It's just...
Please tell me Godfather 1.
I stopped following. I purposely didn't find the winner because I know it was Star Wars. I know it was. And I love Star Wars. I love that whole franchise. I love the bad prequels.
Real, yeah.
I love the bad prequels. I love the even worse sequels.
Oh, I
Like,
hated the sequels.
A New Hope. Well,
The
see,
last
this is my Star Wars theory, and I'll go a quick tangent. I think because you were young when the prequel trilogy came out, so that's always been like a part of your world.
Yes.
The lesser quality of the prequel trilogy has always been a part of your world. It was not always a part of mine. So when I first saw Phantom Menace, it was such a massive disappointment.
Yep.
Because of how good the original trilogy was.
Yeah.
So by the time I got to Force Awakens, it was like, whatever, this franchise has gone downhill anyway.
I mean, even still, the fact that it was going downhill and then it jumped off a cliff. The 9th movie is such a tragedy.
Oh yeah, nine is
right,
a mess.
the Skywalker?
9 is a mess. Yeah,
It's garbage.
yeah.
If they went with the original,
All right,
plan
I'm gonna
to focus on.
Yeah.
No,
Put it
no,
out.
yeah,
Put it out.
This was
We
just
gotta
a quick advance of theory that
we gotta get
franchise is
through
ruined
this.
based on how
I'm not
old
gonna
you
because
are.
we've been on a tangent for 7 minutes. Not
Hold on.
just
If they followed the Darth Plagueis storyline and ignored Palpatine, it would have been definitely better. That's it.
I mean, if they had ignored a lot of things, it would have been a lot better.
So we just
Well,
reviewed
it's
every
less-
movie but the one we're doing for this episode. Let's review this.
Yeah,
movie.
so let's get to some reviews. So Rotten Tomatoes, Insidious is a 66% with critics and a 62% audience. So, slightly above average, slightly above good. Or slightly good. 5 stars. Another horror classic. Freaky AF. And the performances are great. I watched it when I was 9 or 10, and that movie gave me the chills for a long time after that. Whenever I hear someone discussing 3 Tiptoe by the Window soundtrack, I still poop my pants years later.
Hope that they get that checked out.
Just some depends, buddy.
That might be a medical problem, not a movie problem.
Let's get to our 1
Hey,
star.
Yeah. 1 star. Good elementary level horror for beginners, I suppose. Production elements just feel cheap, and the one infamously good jump scare was ruined for me by the streaming platform using that frame as its intro. So whatever leverage it had, there it lost. Which, definitely
fair
if you came to
It is.
this late, that image of that demon appearing behind Patrick Wilson was in trailers. It's been in, the promo image on streaming platform. It's like you've seen that. It's not a jump scare anymore. That scene is coming. And one more 1 star. 1 star. Like an unorganized pile of cliches. The horror here is the idea that someone paid for this movie to be made. I've seen scarier episodes of Sesame Street. Better written ones, too. You're going to see a lot of confusing things you don't understand. Most accurate dialogue ever. I feel like
Yeah,
Sesame Street
about right.
kind of catches a stray in there. Because Sesame Street's horror stories were pretty legit for stories. Like, I don't know.
True. Don't
So-
besmirch Sesame Street just because you didn't
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. So, knowing what other people think, gentlemen, what do we think?
I know I used my blue star last week. No, okay.
That was-
I honestly
that's-
want to give this thing a 2.75 because it is a touch above average, but I'm knocking it right to just 2.5 because of the franchise crap. I'm so tired of the franchise crap. Just it's not even worthy of a sequel, let alone 6 movies. Give me a break. I'm so tired of this dumb crap.
Wow, I thought you would go higher. But
No.
all right,
I'm over it. And the rewatch didn't
See,
help.
so-
The rewatch made me like it less. It's true.
I'll give it 3 stars. I'll do 3 stars. I gotta give it a little bit more because the first 2 watches did scare the crap out of me. I do think it holds up well. Watching it again, it didn't scare me as much because everything that's coming. But James Wan has the beats. I feel like Rose Byrne does a good job. I feel like Patrick Wilson does do a good job being a bad dad. And the kids are great. The spirits, the world he's created, it's different from you were saying Dead Silence and Saw. So it's like he was just like in the waters of everything, testing what fit him mostly. And it turned out to be Hauntings because then right after it, he did the Conjuring series. He's doing Insidious. Still doing Insidious. But yeah, I feel like 3 stars. It's a good opening. You want a good scare. It's PG-13. Watch it Christmas morning. Have fun.
Okay.
This morning?
Right after Krampus.
I don't usually, but I do want to push back on something you said. The kid performances were good.
They weren't bad.
They weren't anything.
simple.
They weren't
simple,
anything.
exactly.
One of them's a baby. The other one's asleep 90% of the movie. And the middle child has like the one moment where like, I don't like it when Dalton gets up and walks at night.
Perfect amount of time. It worked.
But
Worked.
I'm gonna go with Kearns. This is a 2.5. I think the first couple times I watched this, I had
Easy,
this
Rocky.
I had this in like maybe a 3.75 range. It's not a 3.75 for me. It's not a 3 for me anymore. It's a 2.5, and I worry that if I watch it again, it'll be lower. I think there's definitely the fatigue. There's definitely the, I've seen how this type of movie now 100 times. There's the, I can't shake how much Poltergeist this movie is.
Yeah, it's a copy.
It
It hurts it considerably.
I maybe I was willing to overlook it previously. Maybe I just didn't put it together. But the poltergeist ness of Insidious just overwhelmed me this time, and it's just not as good. So yeah, 2.5.
Yeah, I can go on that bandwagon. I never really saw the similarities of Poltergeist and Insidious until you mentioned it. And now talking more and I'm thinking about it, they're very similar. But in my opinion, I don't think it's as bad as the homage to the remake that came out 5 years later.
That's true.
I think he does a decent job,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
it's not Poltergeist.
yeah,
Top 5s. Let's go, guys.
Top 5 Poltergeist film. No, I'm joking. We're gonna do top 5 Lynn Shay movies tonight, and we're gonna start off with her
You
portrayal as
cheated.
Mrs. Bruce in one of my favorite comedies, 1998.
He did cheat.
What do you mean?
He cheated. He found it.
You had
What do you mean?
you
I
had
didn't cheat.
you had researched Lynn Shay, so when I popped up Shay or Nay, you had background knowledge.
He did cheat, and he still got one wrong.
I did homework.
You got 3
I
wrong.
studied without knowing.
Terrible, terrible. For shame.
for
For
Shay.
But my number 5 is for shit. No, number 5 is Detroit Rock City. She plays Mrs. Bruce, one of the moms of the 4 teenage boys in a Kiss tribute band who try to see their idols in a concert in Detroit in 1978. It's a road trip movie. It's funny. I mean, I feel like if you like Kiss or if you like that gross out comedy during the late 90s, you'll like this film. It's a different pace compared to your American Pies as well as Road Trip. And I would say that on those two levels, American Pie, your Road Trip, Euro Trip.
I think Detroit Rock City would be a good double feature with Dazed and Confused.
Yes, like watch Dazed and Confused first as they're leaving for the concert, as the 4 teenagers from Detroit Rock City are trying to get tickets to a concert. That's actually a good idea. And then throw in Empire Records, like as like the third film later. I just saw that recently again, and it's got a warm spot in my heart. But we'll go into number 4. Number 4, she plays Sally. It was mentioned earlier during Shay or Nay, and that's Critters. We covered this. It follows a group of small furry aliens with carnivorous behavior escaping from 2 shape-shifting bounty hunters called Ugg and Lee, landing in a small countryside town to feast on its inhabitants. Please, if you haven't seen the movie, watch the movie and then check out our episode. We covered the entire Critters franchise, and does it get better? Does it get worse? You gotta listen to our podcast and watch the movies to settle your opinion yourself. And then we get to number 3, and that's when we get into Wes Craven's New Nightmare. So yes, she does make an appearance. Wes Craven asked actors from the first film to reappear in this film. She was in the first one a teacher, and this one she a nurse. She was in the hospital scene, and she's just there for a quick second. But her presence, again, like as I was saying earlier, underappreciated. Her presence is known because you can watch and be like, oh crap, Lynn Shay's in this. And the movie's great. The idea of Freddy coming into the real world and the idea of creating another Nightmare on Elm Street after his death in the 6th one. Right? The 6th one? Yeah, the 6th one. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. I always get 5 and 6 confused. But again, it's a great film, and it starts with the Scream franchise, because without New Nightmare, we wouldn't have Scream. Which leads to number 2. Again, this movie was mentioned again earlier. She plays a reporter, a propaganda reporter, and that's The Running Man, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Richard Dawson, Yaphet Kotto, Maria Alonso, and Jesse, the Body of Ventura. It's set in a dystopia, United States, where a state-controlled broadcaster airs a deadly game show in which convicted criminals, known as runners, must survive pursuit by themed gladiatorial assassins called stalkers. Follows Captain Ben Richards, who's framed, and he's the next contestant. And if you haven't seen it, watch this one first. I still have to watch the remake, but watch this one. It's just a classic, and read the book. And that leads to number 1. Lynn Shay plays a teacher in everyone's favorite classic, A Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't think I have to say much. If you haven't seen this film yet, just watch it. Enjoy it. Love it. Then watch the whole franchise, because it's worth it. But that's my top 5 tonight. John, what places are we going tonight for your top 5?
I got a feeling I know.
I was inspired by my fallen opinion of Insidious to go and find 5 good PG or PG-13 horror movies to show it can be done well. My number 5 stars Jeff Daniels, Julian Sands, and John Goodman. Number 5 is Arachnophobia.
That movie's PG-13?
PG-13.
I thought that was rated R.
Nope, PG-13. A species of killer spiders from South America arrives inside a coffin to a small California town. The new to town Dr. Ross Jennings is puzzled and scared since he is arachnophobic. Enter the exterminator Delbert McClintock to rid the town of the spiders.
It's the best dance scene in any movie.
Any movie?
Are we going with American Wedding with Steph Meister?
I didn't even see American Wedding.
You're not missing a
I
lot.
mean-
There's a couple funny scenes, but you're not missing a lot.
I know right off the bat you just basically dismissed Footloose and Dirty Dancing, so.
Footloose is good. Dirty Dancing is excellent. No one puts baby in the corner.
Number 4, before we start putting anybody else in corners. My number 4 is Tremors.
Oh God, that is PG.
It's a PG-13. The small town of Perfection, Nevada has a big problem. Large, underground, worm-like creatures are feasting on the townspeople. A seismologist and 2 local men attempt to stop the subterranean scourge from snacking on everyone. And the cast in this is incredible, with Kevin Bacon, Fred Ward, Michael Gross, and Reba McEntire. And the Tremors is like a happy time movie. My number 3 might be the scariest movie I've ever seen. And you can argue that maybe it's not fully horror, but it's Fire in the Sky. Have you seen Fire in the Sky, Ryan? You're looking at me blank.
No.
So Fire in the
never
Sky.
seen it.
Fire in the Sky, bro?
No.
Oh my God, dude. That's an
Wait, is that with
experience.
the-
You should definitely do that. Sorry, John.
Is that with the kids? Well, you're gonna explain.
Turn
it.
the
Okay.
lights off and watch Fire in the Sky. Fire in the Sky is based on the real life, maybe, experience of Travis Walton. Walton was abducted and experimented on by aliens. Meanwhile, on Earth, his friends report him as missing and are met with ridicule and suspicion. Walton manages to escape, and his friends find him naked, bruised, and scared at a remote gas station. So you get D.B. Sweeney as Walton and a bunch of other cool, like, early 90s actors. You get E.T. Kid Henry Thomas grown up. But Fire in the Sky is
okay.
legitimately among the scariest movies I've ever seen. And it's a rare thing. It's alien movies like that scare me. It's Fourth Kind gets me. There's a couple other ones that have the ability to scare me. My number 2, we're going to go up to Scandinavia for an Andre Overdahl movie, the guy who directed Autopsy of Jane Doe. And it's Troll Hunter. So a series of mysterious bear killings brings a team of students to determine the cause. They stalk a hunter who reluctantly agrees to let them follow and film him, hoping he can lead them to the culprit. As they go along, they learn Hans is not a conventional hunter. Oh no. He hunts trolls. I love Troll Hunter. It's a pretty found footagey kind of movie. Saw it on Netflix at first. It really, really hits. I love Troll Hunter. And my number 1 is a movie we've talked about already. But number 1 is Poltergeist. So what happens when a horror icon collaborates with a cinema legend? Poltergeist happens. Produced by Steven Spielberg, directed by Tobe Hooper. Now listen, here's what I'm talking about. Otherworldly beings manifest in a family's new home, shattering their peaceful lives. Insidious. It gets worse when their young daughter or son is pulled into the TV and the other side, or the further. A team of experts, Elise Beckson Tucker, comes to help rescue the girl from a nightmarish realm. Sound familiar? Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Number 1, Poltergeist.
Yeah.
And that's scratching the surface. I want to do them one after another and just list.
I really want to watch Poltergeist now, and we're gonna have to move Poltergeist up and do a comparison on this.
Right.
I mean, it's not going to be much of a comparison, though.
No.
Poltergeist is better.
Compare the beats. Sorry. Okay. All right, guys. That was Insidious. I hope you didn't like it because we sure didn't.
Whoa.
Ryan
It's
likes
not
it.
bad film. Watch it, enjoy it. Watch it on New Year's, Christmas. It's a holiday
Spot
film.
on average to really get you going.
It's a starting point. It's like starting the engine in a
That's the whole
tractor. You gotta
point.
let it sputter a little bit.
The starting point.
It should have been the starting and ending point.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
All right, that's us
Touche.
for this
One was
week,
enough.
everybody. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Don't get haunted and have a good one.
See ya.